Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Definition, and the Terminator franchise is back with the release of Dark Fate dropping in the UK today. Throughout this video we'll be breaking down everything that you need to know about the new film as well as its ending. We're also going to be discussing whether this is the franchise's salvation or if it's given it a dark fate. There will be heavy spoilers here, so if you haven't seen the film yet and don't want anything ruined, then I highly recommend that you turn off now. With that out of the way, I just want to give a huge thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into our breakdown of Terminator Dark Fate. Okay, so for the guy that said he hated that Alien 3 killed off Newton Hicks because it crapped on the franchise, James Cameron sure likes to contradict himself. This is because Dark Fate opens with John Connor being murdered with a shotgun at a beach bar in Guatemala right in front of Sarah. It's quite a big slap in the face, and for someone that's been waiting for a supposed real sequel to Terminator 2 for almost 30 years, this really annoyed me. It's cheap, out the blue, and doesn't feel like a proper send-off for a character that we've come to love. Now, it is revealed in the film that Skynet was destroyed and that Sarah and John did manage to stop Judgment Day. However, before its collapse, Skynet sent back several Terminators, and this one had been hunting John for a while, eventually catching up to him there. The future has changed though, and in place of Skynet, a new AI has risen known as Legion that is an anti-terrorist program. In the future, it causes an electronic blackout worldwide and then wipes out the majority of humanity with nukes before hunting the rest with Terminators. Future leader of the Resistance, Danny, has sent back one of her closest friends, Grace, an enhanced human to protect her, and whilst all of this is revealed later in the movie, I thought I'd drop it here just to set the stage for what's to come. Now, after the John Connor death scene, we cut to Danny and her family in present day. After going to work with her brother, a new Terminator known as the Rev 9 lands in her apartment block, kills her father, takes his form, and then travels to where she works to assassinate her. The Rev 9 is different from the normal kind of Terminator because it's actually comprised of two parts: a liquid shell that can move, create weapons and morph, and a solid skeleton structure beneath that's similar to the T-800. It also has far more emotional range than the typical machine and can interact with people on a human level, making it far better at infiltration. Grace intercepts the Terminator, and with Danny and her brother, they escape to a highway with the Rev hot in pursuit. Now, this action scene really sets the pace for the movie, and whilst it's all stuff that we've seen before, when Sarah Connor returns to save the group, she really lights up the screen, and it's a testament to Linda Hamilton's charisma of just how much she nails this role. The Rev 9 manages to kill Danny's brother, but with the help of Connor, Grace and Danny are able to commandeer her car and escape. We learn that Grace has a very high metabolism that allows for short bursts of energy, which is perfect for tackling Terminators, but in the long run this can lead to prolonged fatigue and powerlessness whenever the plot needs her to be out the way. Connor manages to catch up with them, and it's revealed that she knew about the Terminator coming for Danny because she receives encrypted text messages from an unknown source that informs her of coordinates that attacks will happen at. She trusts these because they're signed off for John, and after Grace hacks her phone, she's able to determine the location of the texts, which also lines up with coordinates that she has tattooed on her body. This takes the group to Texas, and it's very much a game of cat and mouse the entire way, with the Rev 9 constantly one step behind them, using Danny's digital footprint to track her across the border. We get an awesome scene at the border detainment camp, but ultimately for me this action felt a bit hollow due to the overuse of CGI and special effects that strip the scenes of any real gravitas. I don't know what it is, but I feel like the longer the series has gone on, the more that each version has tried to invent a new, cooler Terminator, and it just keeps trying to go up and up and up, when at its core, the original design is still the most intimidating one. Just something about that cold, unfeeling machine stays with you, and giving it a personality, as we see with the Rev 9, just takes away the horror element for me. Now, eventually the group get to the coordinates and discover the Terminator that killed John all those years ago. He is now taken on the name Carl, and after completing his mission, he began to learn from humanity and decided to settle down with a girlfriend and her son. After becoming attached to the boy, he realised what he had taken from Sarah, and due to his conscience has decided to help her. Yeah, it's another one of those that I think the audience will really struggle with, especially the die-hard fans. However, Arnold does a great job at least of delivering the lines, and next to Linda Hamilton, he does have a positive influence on the film, even if some of the logic leaps sound stupid. They decide that the best way to kill the Rev 9 is to pile together as many weapons as they can and create a kill box. They also think that an EMP will come in handy, and Sarah calls on her military contacts to get one. This takes them to an airport base where the Rev 9 intercepts them, and after taking to the air, the group are brought down by the machine, which makes them crash land at a dam. Even though they have no weapons or anything and Grace is on her last legs, they decide that this is the best time to create the kill box, and in the machine room they fight the Rev 9. Now for some reason the Rev 9 tries to barter with Carl, because they've been in each other's shoes and he just wants the girl and he let them go if they hand her over. Yeah, it's just really stupid and makes no sense, and I don't know why it's in the movie. Anyway, they manage to destroy the Rev 9 by throwing him into a hydro pump, which strips one layer of its skin, and Grace sacrifices herself in order to allow Danny to pull her power cell out, which she jams into the Terminator. The Rev 9 tries to kill Danny, but Carl steps in, grabs the machine and pulls him down a pit where they are both destroyed by the exploding power cell. In the end, Danny and Sarah set off together, and the movie closes with Danny looking over Grace as a child before Sarah says that if she wants to save her, then she has to be ready. This kinda doesn't make sense because she will still ultimately need to send her back, which she knows will lead to her death, but the two drive off together into the future, preparing for what's to come. There's no post-credit scene, and yep, another terrible Terminator film. But what did I think of Dark Fate overall, you may be wondering? Well, yet again, it feels like another entry in the franchise that is frustrating at points due to its inability to really live up to its full potential. I went in with very low expectations and still ended up disappointed, which is just, this is it, I no longer care about this series. This is the third attempt at a new Terminator trilogy, and at this point it just seems like no studio can truly deliver a worthy successor to the first two films. There's a lot of logic leaps, and the things that really do my head in are that the Rev 9 can split into two but rarely does this during opportunities where it would be useful. There are several instances where it could have easily killed Danny had it separated, but the machine refuses to do so because of reasons. There's also John Connor's death, which, though I don't want to keep going on about it, it just really wrecked the film for me. It pretty much ruins Terminator and Terminator 2, and it also strips this film of any real importance, because if the saviour of mankind can change, then what's the point in saving Danny? Just let her die and another hero can pop up. I know James Cameron has said that Marvel movies are getting in the way of cinema, but I would much rather watch 22 more MCU films than have another Terminator movie that's this bad. I don't want to keep ripping into the film, so I will talk about some of the positives, though there were few. So Arnie has always been a major factor in the Terminator franchise, making appearances in every film in some form or another since its inception. The true star of this film though is Linda Hamilton, who feels like the missing ingredient from the prior entries. She is by far the best part of the movie, and watching her blast through action scene to action scene is definitely the film's strong point. Now, the movie does take several risks both narratively and character-wise, relegating a couple of fan favourites in place of new ones. Though the film achieves this in some respects, it also falls slightly short, with Natalia Reyes, who plays the new saviour of mankind, looking pale in comparison to Hamilton when sharing the screen with her. Now, if you were worried that this movie would be too woke for its own good, then you'll be happy to know that I don't think the film forces its message on us, and though things like certain settings are clear comments on modern society, they aren't heavy-handed in a way that makes them eye-rollingly bad. Terminator Dark Fate is very much a turn your brain off movie, and it's sad that a film that is meant to be a direct sequel to one of the greatest action movies ever made falls really flat. James Cameron at this point really can't be trusted when he boasts that every Terminator sequel is the true sequel, and here is another entry that I feel will be met with some disappointment. We now have a trilogy of failed Terminator trilogies, and it will be interesting to see where the franchise goes from now on, as surely they can't make another reboot. Overall, Terminator is a bad film in my eyes, and we as fans deserve far much more. I wish that we could get Skynet to just go back in time and terminate everything after the second film, but as far as Terminator sequels go, this is very underwhelming. I never thought I'd say it, but Terminator 3 actually wasn't that bad, and I'd much rather have that as the continuity than this one, because Wow, I really disliked it. Terminator Dark Fate gets a 4 out of 10. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on Terminator Dark Fate and if you agree with me or not. Comment below and let me know, and if you enjoyed this video then please like it, and make sure you check out my breakdown of this week's other big release, The Lighthouse, which will be linked at the end. I go over everything that you need to know about the movie as well as my interpretation of the ending, so it's definitely worth checking out if you want to know more. If you want to come chat to me after the video then make sure you follow me on Twitter at DefinitionYT, or head over to my Discord server which will be linked in the description below. Those are the best ways to keep up to date with all the latest videos on the channel, so hopefully I see you over there very soon. We're also giving away a free copy of the Marvel Phase 3 Part 1 box set on Blu-ray, which contains Civil War, Doctor Strange, Homecoming, Ragnarok and more, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts on Dark Fate in the comments below. The winner is going to be chosen on the 15th of November, and the set will be shipped out from then to whoever gets the prize, so best of luck to everyone who takes part. This is a channel for people who are mad into movies, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this. I've been Definition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.